So you're gonna hear a little bit in this mixtape me refer to us as kings and queens, and that's because I don't use the N-word, I don't use the B-word. I might curse a lot though, but I intentionally want to elevate my people. And me calling you my nigga or me calling you a bad bitch don't elevate you, my king, my queen. So when you hear me say king and queen and you hear all my conversation, if you get to know me, you get my inner circle, you get into my texts and my emails, and you see it in our Instagram posts and Twitter and everywhere that I speak in and refer to us, I'm always trying to uplift us and elevate us because we've been beat down so much. As people, we done felt so much pain. Like we done seen so much tragedy in our hoods and murders and deaths and just degrading each other in our speech and our actions. And so I reflect back to my life growing up. And I remember one of the first times that I met my biological father, actually the first time that I met my biological father, when I was 7 years old. And you know, my mom was a teenage mom. She was 18 years old when she had me. And you know, my biological father, he left when I was 3 months old and he skipped town. He went from New Jersey all the way out to Lincoln, Nebraska. And so my mom would end up, you know, finding another man to raise me who actually was a gangster. He was literally, you know, on bail for armed robbery and burglary. And, you know, this is the man that raised me. And while he was out on bail, you know, I would visit him and he would, you know, go to prison, go to county jail. We'd visit him and come see him. But this was my dad I knew growing up, right? This was my stepdad, but he was my dad. He was the guy that took the responsibility to raise me. And he went by the name of Baby Art. And so one day when I was 7 years old, my biological father came back to town for the first time. This is the first time that I actually got to meet the man that, you know, made me, that, you know, that these genes, these genetics I have actually came from him, although he didn't spend any time with me and raise me. And so anyway, we're at the parade for our small town, Somerville, New Jersey, and my mom introduces me to my dad, and he buys me, I think, a orange Sunkiss, right, at the ice cream truck. And I'm just in awe, like, oh man, this is my dad right here. And you know, so I spent about 20-30 minutes maybe talking with them, and then, you know, went about my way. And later on that day, my mom would end up, you know, visiting my stepfather, who was, you know, like my father at the time, and was my father at the time. And she would end up go visiting him in Plainfield, New Jersey. And, you know, she parked the car and told me to, you know, they said, "We're going in to see your dad." And my mom gave me a speech before I got out the car. She said, "Look," she said, "Maine, we're going to see your dad right now, but don't tell him that you seen your other father today," right? And so me being 7, I agreed. And as we walked in the house in Plainfield, New Jersey to go see my stepfather, the first thing I said, I ran to him, I said, Dad, guess what? I said, I met my real dad today. I met my other dad today. And I don't even remember what his reaction was to me, but I know my mom told me to wait in the car. And so I waited in the car. I remember this clearly, like vividly. I remember it being 7 years old, waiting in the car by myself, doors locked, like in an old station wagon, an old little G-Ride. And, you know, being in there for probably an hour or so and watch my mom come out back to the car. And she might be in her early 20s at that point. And I see my mom crying and her lip bloody and her eye black and she has some shades on. And she just screamed, you know, to me like, why'd you say something? And I remember being so heartbroken at 7 years old that, you know, I caused this reaction and I caused this, I was the trigger and catalyst for this abuse and this suffering that my mom was just going through. And I never let that go, even to this day. Just seeing the pain on my mother's face and just seeing so much more of that pain as I grew up, as, you know, there was drug addiction, drug abuse, and physical abuse and emotional abuse in my household. And I only share this information, and I know that to some degree it may be uncomfortable for my family, and we've had these talks, but I gotta expose my pain in my real life to relate to those who may be going to similar pain or have went through similar pain, to let you know no matter what you come from, no matter how rough it was or how rough it is, that we can shake it off, we all could bounce back, and we all could get to a higher place in life. And that what doesn't kill us does make us stronger. And so it's great to see my mom having bounced back from those situations, and you know, life did go on, and me bouncing back from the pain of the things I seen with my eyes, and being able to, you know, I grew up angry, I grew up mad because of a lot of the frustrations in my household. But through my 20s and through maturity, I was able to shake a lot of that pain and that resentment and this kind of black cancer that I had in my heart towards people, and became, someone that loves people heavily, loves people dearly, and has a big heart and big empathy. And so no matter what we go through, no matter what pain we see, no matter what pain that we'll continue to see, it's important that we stay authentic to who we are to become, who God wants us to be. And so with that, I share with you, some of my pain, my initial pain. It's probably one of the most painful moments of my life, one of the first painful memories that I remember. And it also made me dedicate my life to my family and serving my family and doing better for my family throughout the rest of my life. And that's what we gotta do. We gotta use that pain that we go through as a catalyst and as motivation to be our better selves and to produce better for those who love us and for those we love. Outwork the Work, Volume 1.